Right, I got the black acrylic paint sprayed. It's looking real good. Also did the differential, got that down to bare metal. So I'm ready to get these bushings and ball joints stuck in there. Alright, I got this idler arm painted. I cleaned out this inside with penetrant, got most of the rust out of there. And I pried this old bushing out. It's made out of plastic. And they've redesigned the bushing. I guess you can buy these old bushings, old school style bushings. I didn't know that when I ordered this. But this bushing apparently is supposed to fit. $56 bushing. So I'm going to put it in there and see how it goes. Alright, this bushing came with some lubricant, so went ahead and lubed up the inside there, and I got this in the vise. And it seems to be pushing in. Alright, I got it in as far as I could with just the vise. Now I'm setting it up with this C-clamp. And okay, I ended up having to get out the large torque or breaker bar to get that thing on there. And it doesn't quite fit the way the old bushing fit. But I'm looking at the nut, and the nut seems to work in the bolt. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up this nut and bolt and these end caps with the sandblaster, and that bushing is good to go. Alright, moving on to these upper control arm bushings, and pressing it in with the C-clamp. I greased that thing up with some bushing lubricant, and we're using the breaker bar. So we'll see how it goes. That one went in real nice and easy. Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the other one next. On this one, the metal got really thin. It looked like it corroded there around that edge, so I put a weld on it, and it looks pretty good. So I'm just going to clean up the inside there with some sandpaper, get that paint out of there, and then press that bushing in. Alright, got the bushings in there. I've been screwing this ball joint in with this smaller breaker bar, but it's not going much further, so I'm going to switch to the bigger breaker bar. Alright, that's in there. Looking good. Alright, so this is getting really hard to turn. Had to re-tighten the vise a couple times, so I'm going to put some of this lubricant on there, and we'll see if we can get this all the way in. So I can't get this ball joint to screw all the way down, and it looks like you see these edges here getting smashed. So it's happening over here. So then when I try to turn, that socket just slips right off of there. So I'm going to try to take it back out, see if I can order another ball joint, and then try again. Alright, well, after I smashed my finger one time, I finally managed to get this back out, and I'm just going to order a new one. And next time I'm going to make sure those threads are really clean and lubricated. Try it again. So this is my finger that I banged up. Alright, so I went with the late carrier bearing rebuild kit. Comes with those gaskets, the bearings, the grease seal, the crush washer. And then for the ring and pinion, I went with US Gear. I read some reviews on that. Sounded pretty good. The guy at the drivetrain place told me that certain brands will make noise, and so I was looking for one of the better brands, which is supposedly this. Then I went ahead and ordered another ball joint. I don't know why I paid so much before. I paid $35 each ball joint. I should have been paying $19, but live and learn on that one. I'm working on these control arm brackets. These bolt to the frame and they hold the control arms on. They have these shim packs, and I've been trying to keep them together. It's been very difficult, but two of these are the same, and then two of these are opposite. So one gets a shim pack with 7 shims, and one gets one with 3 shims, and then one gets one with 7 shims, and then one has 2 shims. So I'm trying to make sure this doesn't get all mixed up. I've tried to take some pictures of it. I was trying to clean these up with a wire wheel and the sandblaster, and it was just not, it was taking too long. And plus I have a bunch of other bolts, so I went ahead and bought one of these vibratory tumblers. And at Harbor Freight I got the media. So I'm going to hook this up, throw all that stuff in there. I got a whole bunch more rusty bolts to clean, and we're going to see if this works. Alright, so I put a bunch of nuts and bolts in there. I put one of these brackets. I wasn't able to clean out the inside with that wire wheel. So we'll see how this works. Give it about 4 hours and come back and check on it. Alright, well, I'm back 4 hours later to check on this thing, and it had vibrated off the bench and laying on the floor. So guess I'm going to try to clean it up and start it all over. Okay, we got it all cleaned up. I found all the bolts. And so I'm going to go ahead and restart this and let it run. Okay, back to in the morning, and I let this tumble in there for about 4 hours. They turned out pretty clean on the threads, but you can see the top didn't. Some of these tops didn't get very clean. Also, some of these bolts, I mean, they're halfway clean, but I guess it did work pretty good. When I came in the morning, I noticed that when it fell, I have this crack now. So a bunch of the media spilled out. So I'm going to have to figure out what to do about that. But all in all, I'm not sure if I love it or not.